I was told by Clark to get a quick intro of Donnie and then get out on the video chat because we've got Canadian Football Hall of Famer Dave Ridgway, the hero of the 1989 Grey Cup, joining us from his home in South Indiana today. And happy Friday, Dave. Welcome to Football Friday. Always good to see you.
Thanks, Rod. It's great to be talking with you. It's good to see John. It's good to see Don and Clark. You've been most gracious trying to set this up. I appreciate that. You guys are fired up today.
You noticed.
I guess, hey, for a Friday, that's, you know what I mean? You guys really are fired up. So that's a good thing if you can keep that energy up all week and then redo it the fall.
That's what we do. That's what we do, Dave. And so then you're firing right in line here. So Normie Fong wrote in. He's watching the show, and he agrees. Because people said about Darian Durant having his number 4 retired, and I said, not only do I not think that should happen, I think all the numbers should be unretired, put back in the rotation, and the guy's name's put up on the wall, Ring of Honor. Now, you're one of them, so I hope you're not offended. What does it mean?
Look, I mean, I didn't ask for my number to be retired.
Yeah.
I will tell you that it probably, for me, it ranks above the Hall of Fame induction, and that's the truth. And I've said that several times, and it's because of it being retired by that team, by the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Oh well, they're not going back now. But I think what should mean even more to you is I think the team's drawn a line in the sand and said we're not retiring anymore because Mikowski. Obviously, your teammates Narco Elgard, they could retire, and I think they just said we've done enough here.
No, I absolutely agree. You know, Ray Elgard, Bobby Pedersen, there are, I can think of a half a dozen or more guys that probably are deserving or more deserving, certainly, than me. When they make a decision, obviously, it's made as a corporate decision. You know, I don't know what they can do. And like you said, it's not like they're going to go back on it right now. But it is still extremely flattering. And I don't know what my old friend Normie said and about retiring Darian's number, but certainly Darian is worthy of that honor as well.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Now, I don't know if I've ever asked you this. I know I've asked you, do you ever get tired of talking about the kick? And you say no, and nor should you. So I'm not going to ask you again. But you made Liverpool, England famous. You and a little musical group out of there. How did you get to the Canadian Football League from Liverpool, England?
Well, actually, I grew up outside of Manchester, a little town called Stockport. My parents, back in the early 70s, divorced. And at that time, I mean, there were 4 children. And, you know, it was one of those situations where 2 went with my mother, 2 went with my father. My father moved over to Canada in 1974. And so from there, from 1974, I guess I had my 16th birthday in Canada. And I really started playing football for the first time in high school. And I came into the game late. So the natural transition out of soccer for me was to kicking a football. And at that time, I had a very strong leg, but couldn't always kick it very straight. However, there was some patience with me in high school. Had similar patients in the Mid-American Conference at the University of Toledo, where I was lucky enough to play for 4 years. My draft year was 91. I was drafted to Montreal, and that was, I'm sure you remember the years. Vince Ferragamo was there, Billy White, Hughes Johnson, David Overstreet, Tom Cousineau, lots of NFL luminaries that were in the camp that year when Nelson Scalabrini owned the team. I didn't make it. The next year, I got an offer to go to a place called Saskatchewan. And that, you know, I really never looked back. So it was kind of a quick journey from my time in Britain to my time in Saskatchewan.
Dave, John Lynch here. Great to see you, buddy. I've always thought you're one of my big favorite, the Rough Riders, all-time favorites. Listen, do you follow the team right now this year? You know what's going on here? We got a big game tonight?
I do. Yeah. No, I absolutely follow the team. I have back in the U.S. I'm absolutely thrilled with the production that they're getting. That young guy, Fiardo, he certainly looks like the future for the football team, and that's very exciting. I'm going to tell you, you've got a hell of a kicker there, and that kid Lothar. So you've got the beautiful stadium, which I'm extremely jealous of. I was lucky to be invited back up a couple of years ago for the christening of the new stadium on Canada Day, and it was really a delight for me being able to be back up there. I was lucky enough to spend plus years in the province, and it's very home.
I was going to say, Dave, it's Don here, your old buddy from way back when.
Don, how are you?
Good. It's interesting. The Rough Riders won 2 Grey Cups after 89, 2007, 2013. And yet, nothing from those 2 Grey Cup victories in the public eye has topped your kick in 89.
Not yet, anyways.
It's really amazing. They've won 2 cups since then, and your kick in 89 is still the most talked about Grey Cup sort of play, really, in their team's history. Still.
Greatest Grey Cup ever, as far as the pundits are concerned.
Yeah, it's extremely flattering. Said many times. I mean, it's hard to believe that this is the anniversary of our celebrating the Grey Cup win in 1989. You can see my hair. My hair's gone white. I saw the pictures of the reunion from last month, and some of the guys have no hair. So a lot of time has passed, and I will tell you that, if somebody had told me first after my playing days ended, or even 10 years after my playing days had ended, that my name would come up periodically, I would have probably, poo-pawed whatever. But it's very nice to be remembered. It's extremely flattering. But out of that, you have to attribute to the fans, and Don, that's to your point, you have to attribute a lot of that to the fans of that football team and how loyal they are. I always worry about what happens in the East as far as the health of the Canadian Football League. I don't worry so much in the West. And certainly the Saskatchewan program is the shining beacon. I know Winnipeg fans will argue that. Hamilton fans may argue that with the year they're having this year. But Saskatchewan certainly is the franchise in the Canadian Football League. So it's great to be remembered. And that was a great game. There were a lot of people on the field that day that, let's face it, Ken Austin will in the Canadian Football League. He's famous as well. Point. There are other guys that I think we had a pretty good football team, and we faced a really good football team in Hamilton that year that it beat twice. So it ended up being a barn burner, and probably that's why I have the white hair today, not the fact that I'm 60 now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, we're going to let you go. There's a slight connection problem there, but you look fantastic. Sorry we missed you last month, but you know that you're always welcome here anytime, and there will be more reunions, and I know you'll still be kicking, literally and figuratively, and we'll see you then. But thanks for coming on this morning.
Hopefully. Hey, thanks a lot, Rod. You guys take care and enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you, Dave.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.